Everything on this rack I listed in 2023 or 2024. It is nearly the end of 2025, so it's all been listed for at least a year. And going through them, I can break down into 7 reasons why these items haven't sold. On this rack, there are 19 items, and I list on average about an item a day. So let's say in 2023, 2024, I probably listed about 800 items. And out of those 800, these are the only 19 that haven't sold. Okay, first reason. These 3 items have a few things in common. They are all skinny jeans. Not only that, they are distressed in the knees and they are small sizes. Last year, I did a deep dive where I pulled thousands of sold listings to see what was selling and what wasn't selling. And there was a clear pattern where skinny jeans were not selling well and wide leg were. Same with distress. Distress is not selling well. And the result is these don't sell. These have been listed at $10 or around there for months, haven't sold. Reason number 2 your items aren't selling is because you don't actually understand the trends. I see channels out there that tell you about certain trends and tell you to pick up the items, but I'm not very good at that. I, in the past, have tried to pick up trend-based finds. In other words, I'm not looking at the brand. I'm just looking at, here's the trend, here's what fits with that. And I often buy things that just do not sell. And this is a perfect example. I bought this when Taylor Swift's Eras concert was going on and everyone was posting sequin outfits. And I was like, someone will wear this to her concert. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't understand the trend well enough. Apparently, because I've had no interest in this. And there's probably people out there that are like, girl, you thought that would sell? I did. And no, it hasn't. Other examples of this is like cottagecore was really popular for a while. I'm not sure if it still is, right? And then Y2K. The thing is, if you're going to buy an item for these trends, you need to make sure you understand the trend because there are very particular items that are going to sell well within those trends. And if you don't understand it, you might be just sitting on an item for 2 years and just wasted all the time you put into listing it. Reason number 3 that your items aren't selling is that they are flawed, and even in good condition, they would have only sold for $15 to $20. I sell a lot of flawed items, but generally there are items that would have sold for $50 or $60, and then with the flaw, they'll sell for less than that, but they're still going to sell. These 5 items, they were only worth maybe $20, and they have a flaw, and the result is that they're not selling. First is this little Janie and Jack blazer. It has a yellow stain on the collar. Then this Aster, the label, crop top. The side seams are coming apart. This is an LL Bean dress. It has I can't remember, there were 2 flaws with it. It has a patch somewhere. Oh, and then I think there's like a little hole somewhere as well. I think this dress is super cute, and I guarantee that if it didn't have flaws, it would have sold. Then we have these Polo Ralph Lauren shorts. 1, this one has a flaw, and 2, it's a size 50, which is a pretty narrow market. Like, not a ton of people wear size 50. So I think there were 2 reasons why that one hasn't sold. Another flawed item are these Cole Haan shoes. These are a type of item where if I'm listing something and I see a flaw and I know that that means it's going to sit for a long time, I should just stop listing. These, when I was listing them, I realized there are wear spots in the back of the heels. And even when I saw this, I was debating, should I even list these? I shouldn't have listed them. They didn't sell. They got no interest. I'm very excited to get rid of this stuff and clear out a tub of inventory that's not selling. Reason number 4 that your item is not selling is because they are obscure and have a very small buyer pool. The number of people interested in your item is definitely correlated to how quickly it will sell. And these 2 items maybe would sell if I just sat and waited on them, but I've already waited at least a year. They're only listed around $10, and I'd rather just donate them instead of waiting for the hope that the perfect buyer will come along. So the first one is this little blazer. It's in like new condition. It's high quality, like it's a thick knit, but it is from this specific school. It's something Baptist Academy, or Silverdale Baptist Academy. I looked it up and listed it under that. But yeah, I've had no interest, not an offer, not a watcher, and this is going to donation. And then the other item I do list things besides clothes. I just only have one thing that hasn't sold. And that is this Peppa Pig book that is in German. It must just be too niche of an item. Reason number 5 your items aren't selling is because nobody wants them. Like, sounds a little harsh, but there has to be demand for your item. There has to be someone out there that is looking for your item. And the next 3 I put in this category of just nobody wants them. First is this long sleeve shirt from the brand Tailorbird. I do a series of videos on my channel where I take 20 items and list them all at $20. And twice I have picked up long sleeve button-ups from Tailorbird. And both times they didn't sell. It's now been at least a year, probably closer to 2 years. This hasn't sold. I've gotten no interest. Then we have this. This is a Build-A-Bear shirt. There are Build-A-Bear outfits that sell really well, rare ones. But if you don't have a rare item and you just have a Build-A-Bear shirt, who's looking for it? Like, no one has been interested in this. I think this has been listed. I know this looks bad, like it's getting stretched out. This has been listed for only $7 for at least a year. I've gotten no offers, no interest. This is going to be donated. But again, some Build-A-Bear items do have high demand, but then plenty of them don't. So you just need to make sure to check sold listings to see if you found a rare item or if you found something that no one wants. Okay, this one's a couple reasons it hasn't sold. This is an Andy Swim swimsuit. And I bought 12 to 15 Andy Swim swimsuits from a seller on Whatnot. She got a pallet and then she sold it all. And all the other ones sold. And in fact, a lot of them sold within a month. But here we are with one of the swimsuits that hasn't sold. This one does not have any tags. So that's part of the reason. It doesn't have a size tag. It doesn't have a brand tag. That's definitely influencing the reason it hasn't sold. But also, I think ruffles are just not very in. And therefore, nobody wants it because ruffled swimsuits just aren't popular. I don't know. This one is a little bit of a brain scratcher. The others, not surprised. This one, I'm a little surprised it hasn't sold. The 15 items I've shown you so far are going straight to donation. They're getting delisted. I'm done with them. These last 4, I'm going to keep listed, or reason number 6 is your items aren't selling because they aren't listed. As I went through these old items, I realized I have 2 things that are just not listed, which is why they haven't sold. First up is a pair of youth Carhartt overalls. These will sell. I just need to get them listed. I know what happened here. I bought these and then they canceled their order. And then apparently I just never relisted them. And they've been sitting in my inventory for at least a year. And then we have these vintage orange tab Levi's. Don't remember the story, but these aren't listed. So that's why they're not selling. And reason number 7 that your items aren't listed is that they're simply priced too high. I tend to be on the aggressive side of pricing. I usually start my listings at about the median of the sold listings. I send out offers, and if something hasn't sold or gotten much interest within 3 to 6 months, I will drop the price and I'll just keep dropping it. So usually this doesn't happen to me as much as I see other sellers, but it does happen. I have 3 items that haven't sold, and I think it's because they're just priced too high. First up is this snowboarding coat. Usually snowboarding coats will sell for at least $50. I don't know what I started this coat at. Maybe $80, maybe $100. It is from the brand 686, which I had never heard of. And apparently not a lot of people are looking for it. But I had it listed at $48 the last week. I just dropped the price to $38. So we are in the middle of the winter. Let's see how it does. But yeah, it's gone through at least 1 winter, maybe 2 winters, and it hasn't sold. And I think I just have it priced too high. Next up is this pair of redone jeans. These are new with tags, and they're currently priced at $48, and they haven't sold. I think if I drop the price, they will eventually sell. I just need to lower the price. And the final item, this is the one that I'm most surprised about, is this pair of Lululemon joggers. These have been listed at $15 for months, and they still haven't sold. They have one small flaw. It is, let me see if I can, here. They have this snag. You see that? /rip. And apparently that's enough to stop them from selling. Otherwise, they're in fine condition. Like I said, they're Lululemon. I think they're a size 4. And yeah, I dropped the price yesterday to $10 because I know they've been listed at $15 for at least 6 months. and they're not selling. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll link a video up here if you want to go check out another of my videos.